Good evening, class, and welcome to your virtual course, Math 27. My name is Dr. Araipur. I had sent you several emails to get you started with the course, and some already have. For those who haven't, let's quickly go over the course here. And here's the homepage of Canvas. We start with the homepage of Canvas. Let me see if I can grab this laser pointer. So when you go to the homepage of Canvas, you see that I've put some numbers here, number 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth. Starting with number 1, first there's a welcoming message to everybody. I'm welcoming everyone to the course, and I'm very happy to have you here. Number 2, it's class philosophy. So this class is a community, and therefore we all have the same objective to learn. Online students often feel isolated, but it is vitally important to know you're not in this alone. I would like each of you to approach our online class with a great attitude and a willingness to help one another. Many problems and questions can be resolved by asking a fellow student. I'm always here to help you, but I truly believe your experience will be more fruitful if you communicate with your fellow students. The course objective is it is about the use of probability techniques, hypothesis testing, and predictive techniques to facilitate decision making, so on and so forth. Finally, as far as the instructor's contact info, here's my email address, raipmr@laccd.edu, and normally I answer your email immediately, maximum within 24 hours from Monday to Friday. Going back to the homepage of Canvas. The next one is number 3, the announcements, and I'm going to put this in student mode. Under the announcements, these are the announcements that have been already sent to you. The first one was an old recorded orientation. Then we had a welcome and orientation, and then welcome to a virtual course. This is a message that has been sent to you over the course of past few weeks. So a lot of emails, not all of them, a lot of emails are also under the announcements. So if you happen to miss anything, you can find it under the announcements. Now, the next one, so 1, 2, 3, and number 4. What do we find under number 4? Syllabus, modules. So number 1 is the syllabus, number 2 is the modules. And under the modules, you have all kinds of things like homework, practice tests, and so on. And at the bottom of the page, here's the office hours, which takes place every Saturday from 9 to 10. And this is the Zoom meeting and the information. So going back up, I want to go to the syllabus, which I can explore it right here or on the left navigation bar. Nowadays, you can click on the syllabus. I just want to show you something. I have the calendar and the syllabus. Also, we have a simple syllabus. I'm going to actually look at the simple syllabus in a moment. But just to give you an idea, I have kept the old-fashioned syllabus here. First and foremost, here's the calendar, which tells us about the date of the exams, basically, which takes place every 3 to 4 weeks, and some of this stuff we need to know, and how fast we should move on with the course to be on the safe side. There are a couple of assignments coming up, a mandatory assignment to my open math and an algebra review, which is in a couple of days. I'm going to discuss that further when I go to your digital platform. So going back to the syllabus, this one is the old-fashioned syllabus, and I've put them in the form of a topic, starting with student learning outcome. Of course, the information about the course, okay, the course number, section number, and so forth. Student learning outcomes, course objectives, text. We will see this text in my open math also. The date about the orientation, various exam times. I'm going over this quickly because also I want to show you the simple syllabus, meeting important dates, so on and so forth. The Technology and calculators. I put a lot of resources here as far as your calculators are concerned. There are free calculators, tech support, PyShop, which is the math lab or tutoring center, the grading policy, and I'll show you in the symbol syllabus also. We have 200 points for the homework, as long as it's done before the due date. You have many attempts. Participation discussion boards 100 points. Each uh, exam is worth 100 points. There are four of them. The final is 300. Total is 1,000 points. It is a point system. So at any given time, you can easily see your grade. 90%, that means 900 or more, is an A. 80%, 800 to 899 is a B, so on and so forth. And there we have more information. One of the things that I found it interesting is CSULB 36. In short, it says we need 3 times the number of units per week to do well. That means this is a 4-unit course. We need minimum 12 hours outside to do well. And then there's information about dropping policy, DSPS, summary steps to success. And you can find the office hours here as well as the bottom of the homepage of Canvas. Netiquette about how to behave in virtual, platform. Online students, the guidelines is pretty much the same. We really want to show that we are professional, we are courteous, and when we write emails, we want to use the correct spelling and grammar. Make sure you put your um, course number in the subject line. Make sure you put your phone name when you send an email. Of course, if it's from the school's email, I have your phone name. And always, and in short, use a positive tone. You want your fellow students to feel very comfortable. And follow the discussion, the course discussion board guidelines, and so on. So I went over this shortly because at the bottom also, right here, we have a simple syllabus nowadays they use. Again, it basically has the same information. It has the information about the course, section number, and the time that it starts and ends. Here's the location of our office hours is via Zoom. My information, name, email address. Again, as I said, my name is Dr. Araipo, and if you're more comfortable, you can call me Dr. A. Again, we have the course description, student learning outcomes, objectives. You can find the text here. And again, I will look at that when we go to My Open Math. As I mentioned, that's where your digital platform is. The book is free, obviously. Again, the information about the grading policy, I went over that, but I covered that again. It's probably the most important piece of information. Online homework, 200 points. You have multiple attempts. Participation/discussion board, 100 points. There are 5 of them. I'll show you in a moment. There are 4 tests, 100 points each, and the final, which is comprehensive, 300, 1,000 points. A, 90%, that means 900 to 1,000 points. 80% is 800 to 899, and so on. And there are other policies, drop and repeat, attendance policy, financial aid, library. So as you can see, there is a lot of information you can find under the syllabus as well as the simple syllabus. And again, you see the tentative dates as far as the exam is concerned. By the way, every exam takes place on Saturdays. The reason is because I want you to be completely relaxed when you take the exam. There is absolutely no proctorio. There is no proctorio. I believe we are all adults. We are here to learn. There's no reason for that. And also, there will be more information about the exams when the time comes. It's password protected. The email/announcement will give you all the information. Also, the instruction. As far as the instruction is concerned, it's a good practice to show work for possible partial credit because there are cases that you may have to write 4 or 5 steps to get to the answer. And if the last step is wrong, you may get 0. But if you show work uploaded to the exam assignment, we can discuss the partial credit. So that's very important, and there are other informations under the sample syllabus. I want to go back to the home page and again show you that we covered the syllabus. The next one is the modules. Before I cover the modules, I actually want to cover the discussion forum, which you can find it here or on the left navigation bar. The very first thing is student bios. And what I did, I put mine as an example. Okay. Also, I put the information as to how to embed an image. The thing is, if you want to answer a fellow student, please be always positive and courteous. It'd be wonderful if you um, want to discuss an issue with your friends, your fellow students, but again, very courteous. So you don't have to do that. If you'd like your fellow students to get to know you, put the information. The next one is a frequently asked question. In the past, there were some students who had questions, and I gathered all those questions, put them here. Please, it takes a few minutes of your time. Read them before you send any questions. For example, how do I use the math editor? You want to write the discussion forum. You have to show formulas, okay? Mathematical formulas. And one way is to use the math editor. And then there's a question about the course ID for my open math. Normally we use a course ID. Something has been happening. You don't need a course ID, and I'll show you what you need to do. Then the text is free, it's online, tech support, other information, and you can go down. One of the questions that has come up in the past, where do I find the exam password? It will be emailed to you on Monday of that week that you have an exam, and you can find it under the announcement under the same topic, exam one, for example, or exam two. It has the information about the exam as well as the password, and I highly recommend you just as an online student, pay attention to your emails. Going back to the discussion forum, then after that, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 modules we cover for the exam. Each module has um, topics that get you ready for the exam. Also, we have a discussion forum. And I'm going to go over one of them because when you learn about one, the rest of them follow. And all you need to know is that for each exam, there is one discussion forum, which is worth 20 points. So here's the first one. The topic must be from module one. For example, if you pick a question from module 2, 3, 4, 5, it's not the proper question, and you will not get any points for it. So here's the information. Let me see if we can make this happen here. So There are three parts. Number one, you have to pick up a question. You write the question, complete question, and you write the answer step by step. That gives you 10 points. You can even pick up a question from a practice test. Then you find a similar one online and you post it and you comment on a fellow student uh, post. Please make sure when you comment and say, thank you so much, I learned a lot. That's not a comment I'm asking. Of course, you're more than welcome to do that. But the comment is what you learned. So here's an example. I made up an example. There's a question. We are finding the mean, median, and so forth. I'm putting the formula and I show you step-by-step solution. Then I find a similar question about this topic that I'm writing from YouTube or Khan Academy. And then a comment is post was about finding the z-score and so forth. I'm talking about a post by somebody, not my post, okay, not the YouTube that I posted and so forth. So I hope it's clear. And then, of course, I'm giving you information as to how to use the math editor in that case. So to recap the discussion for the first one is student bio is not being graded. The second one, frequently asked question, obviously is not being graded. But the rest of them, each one is worth 20 points, three parts, 10 points, 5 points, 5 points. They add up to 20 points. And you have to pick a topic from the module of interest. Going back to the homepage. So the last thing that is left is the modules. So what do we find under the modules? On the left navigation bar, here's the modules, and pretty much that's where we find everything. The very first one is where you find the information about the digital platform, and I'm going to look at that as the last one, where I look at your digital platform, My Open Math, and for short, I'm going to call it MOM. The next one is where you find the PowerPoints and practice test recordings. Okay, again, I'm going to look at that one shortly. Then you find exam one module, which covers weeks 1, 2, 3. Exam two module from weeks 4 to 7. Exam 3, exam 4, and those are 4 modules. Then module 5 is part of the final exam, will be added to those. At the end, I have formulas, tables, and information about ATI calculator. So this is the module. These are the modules. The very first one, again, is about MOM. The second one is PowerPoints and so forth. So what I want to cover, first I want to look at the last one, which is a bunch of resources. Now, the formulas, you may find them here. You can even find them online. It's up to you, or you can find it in the text. So I have all the formulas that you need here. Okay. By the way, this is the course that you can use the formulas while you take the exam. Okay. So you can use the formulas while you take the exam. Normally, that's not the case. So this is where you find the formulas. Also, we have tables. You may use a calculator for that, or a table in some instances, in some instances, calculators. This is the z-score. More specifically, could be negative or positive. Okay, this is positive z-score. Then we have another one, the z-values, the t-table, a chi-square table, F distribution. So going back to the modules, and the last one, we have formulas, we have tables. Another information about TI-83, I want to explain something here, and that is the very first page that we go to, I have the information about various graphing calculators at the bottom here. And over here, a way to possibly get the emulator downloaded into your calculator. If it works, it'll look something like this, everybody. Again, this is if everything works out and you'll be able to download it into your computer. Now, this information, I found it online and I put it here, and sometimes it doesn't work. I want you to know that. However, there are other calculators that are free. You can find it under your syllabus also. These are some TI calculator commands, everybody. And some other calculators. For example, this online stat calculator. Please make sure you check all of them and see which one works for you, because I believe students shouldn't pay for anything. Going back to the modules. So we covered the bottom one. The last one is nothing but resources, such as formulas, tables, and information about the calculator. If you don't need it, you don't need it. I want to look at module one. What do we find first? First, you find PT stands for practice test. Okay. This is what I mean. You can use some of these questions even for the discussion forum. Make sure they are not just definitions or one word. So for example, the first few are definitions not acceptable, and make sure you don't repeat that. You make sure you read others before you do that. And I would read all of this for about 5 to 10 minutes to just see what's coming up as far as the first exam is concerned. So that gives me an idea what is being covered for the first exam. Then we have chapters 1, 2, 3 PowerPoints. For example, and I'm not going to go over all of them. For example, one of them, if you click on them, the PowerPoints show up. You can download them. If you download them and put them in slide mode, what happens, it has, all the information that you need, all the lectures. When we come across a topic, just for the sake of argument, on this page is not going to give you the whole page if you put it in slide mode, but rather topic by topic, paragraph by paragraph, in some cases line by line. Okay. So on their exam one module, first one is practice test. A few, depending, for example, normally if you go to 2, you see there are 2 chapters. In this case, we have 3 chapters, so those are the PowerPoints. What do you find at the end of that module? As the name indicates, solution to the practice test. So this is the same practice test that we saw before, but now we have the solution step by step. Going back to the modules. So the first module has the practice test, PowerPoints that will help us understand them, and the solution to the practice test. What is this? This is the latest practice test recordings, everybody. We have those practice tests. Here's practice test 1. Here's PowerPoints we need to study to learn the topics covered in practice test 1. Here's the solution to practice test 1. And over here, we can find the solution to practice test that has been recorded, step by step with detailed explanation. These are prior recordings. Those are my YouTube, playlist. This is my lecture section by section. So section by section, I have the PowerPoint and I have the recorded of those PowerPoints. Going back to the home page, going back to the modules, we seem to have covered everything. Now I want to go to the very top. So over here, everybody, normally we don't need to do anything. We can register with my OpenMath easily. However, there has been some issues. So here's the course ID. If you go to my OpenMath, you can even Google search my OpenMath and you register as a student. It asks you for the course ID and enrollment key. You can find it here. So you register. It'll take you here to my OpenMath. At the very top, you see the very first assignment coming up in a couple of days. Introduction to my OpenMath. The next one is algebra review that shows the prior knowledge of mathematics to make sure that you have enough knowledge to continue. And of course, even if you feel uncomfortable, you know where to practice if need be. Here's the exams. The next thing is exams. And for now, you don't have to worry about it. I just want to make sure that even the exams are easily found at the very top. Then what happens? Course description. As we scroll down, we see the calendar. First and foremost, this one, number 4, that means 4 weeks. You can make it 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever, so you can see that. First, I want to show you that the exam and the due date is here, as you can see it, right here. Right before the exam, you see a bunch of homework, and these are the 2 homeworks that are coming up. The reason the coloring is different, it becomes red as it gets closer and closer. As far as these homeworks are concerned, okay, please don't do the homeworks the day before the exam. You won't be ready for the exam. The reason I put them here, because in the past, students have asked me, okay, I'm busy, I'm working, and they couldn't get to it. So I figured I put all of them do here. Please do one piece of homework either every day or every other day. The week of the exam, you pretty much should be ready to concentrate on your practice test in order to nail the exam. So if you do one, or maybe every other day you do one piece of homework, you'll be fine. Of course, these 2 homeworks are coming up immediately. Students who miss them will be dropped, and it's important for you to get started with that immediately. Now, module 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First and foremost, these modules 1 through 5 are corresponding to the same modules that you found under the Canvas. They have, again, information, text, and so forth. Also, your homework. But what is module zero? Module zero, as the name indicates, is the resources. I'm going to spend a couple of minutes on that. First and foremost, here's the text, everybody. It's online. And it's based on this, which is easier to navigate. And it's all free. Okay. So that's the text. Then the information about the late pass, how to use a late pass. Uh, the initial homework, they don't have a late pass. The last module doesn't have a late pass, neither do any of the exams, okay? Generally speaking, students who use the late pass, they get behind. It's very hard to catch. How do I review something that is passed to? I can click on the grade on the grade. So make sure you look at the resources. Instructor resources such as tables, formula sheets, PowerPoints, those are my resources. Multimedia libraries, free online calculators. Take a look at the list of all of those. There are so many of them in class. If you have a calculator of your own, you're comfortable with it solely. If you don't and you want to use a free calculator, I would highly recommend you look at each and every one. You decide which one works the best for you, okay? Uh, statology, social sciences. This is statistics calculator for social sciences, Star Trek calculator, many different calculators, okay? Which one works the best? Well, it depends on the student. See which one you get comfortable, okay? And there's some information about TI calculators, uh, how to use them, also uh, commands for Excel. So as it was mentioned, the first one is the resources. The next one is the p-value calculator. It's coming up when we get to the test of hypothesis. How did you calculate the p-value for the z-score and t-score and so forth? And then I have more online calculators. Okay, so we have the first one and a video that explains how to use that. This is a very common calculator online, a graphing calculator, Desmos, and again, absolutely free. So then I'm adding some of the calculators mentioned at the top here, okay, such as online stat calculator. Then daily scheduler, if anybody is interested in that. Um, online stat book, online graphing calculator, and so forth, Khan Academy. So as you can see, the very first module called Module Zero under MOM, My Open Math, it's full of resources. Please take a few minutes to explore them. If you don't need any of it, that's your choice. Your homework starts with Module 1. So under Module 1, again, just as Canvas, you see Module 1, Chapter 1, Module 1, Chapter 2, Module 1, Chapter 3. We have 3 chapters. So if you click on the first chapter, you see the sections that we covered over there. Remember, we had the practice test, we had the PowerPoints. So over here, we have the same thing. So what if we expand one? Number one, there are a bunch of videos here. I highly recommend you watch these red ones. And by the way, if there is a broken link, make sure you send it to me. I fix it. In the past, some students did this. They came to section 1.1 and watched this only. Okay. So they watched those videos and they said that's good enough for us. These are my videos and these are more videos by others. I hope you see a lot of resources, everybody. After that, you go to homework section 1.1. So somehow you got to get ready to go there. So if you click on it, the homework comes up. And here's what I want to show you, that some of these questions, for example, the first one, I have no idea what the answer is. I can watch the videos. And again, the first one happened to have a couple of videos. The second one has a video, but if you look at the third one, doesn't have any videos. So some of them do, and some of them don't. Okay. So but even if I make a mistake, after I submit a question, I can repeat by looking at a similar question. How does it work? Let me show you with starting here. The very first assignment here, Introduction to my Open Math. It's got nothing to do with this course. This has got to do with anybody who's taking some sort of a math course, and they want you to get familiar with this platform, digital platform. So it says enter this number. The moment I click on this blank, okay, in this box, in this rectangular box, you see the math editor that opens math palette. And of course, I just want to put the number 73.2188. That's all they're asking. Then they say, enter this number and round it to 2 decimals. So 21. Next to it is 8 goes up to 73.22. The next question says, enter the result for this. As you know, we can divide by 0. It's undefined. So if I click here, they don't have the word undefined. I put DNE, does not exist. So the moment I submit the question, it check marks and it gives me the point and it registers. You don't have to submit anything. It already has the grade. The second one, 1/3 is 0.3 bar. Let's answer it wrong, 0.2. On purpose, we want to answer it wrong. So it says it's wrong. You see? So what do? All you have to do, get a similar question. It gave us the same one. And by the way, read the instruction. Enter 4 or more decimals. So I'm going to put 0.3 and I put a bunch of threes and I submit the question. Notice what happened. This is correct and I got my points. So at this point, something comes up. I can't finish the job. I click done. Notice it check marks the first question that I've done. It gives me my score and the rest of them are unattempted. I can resume as long as it's before the due date. If I don't resume before the due date, this becomes my final grade for this particular assignment. So you can resume or exit. I'm going to exit. Same thing with the rest of it. So that's how you do your work. So I want to quickly recap everything. So this is the home page of Canvas, everybody. Number 1, a short video message welcoming you to the course. Number 2, the class philosophy. Number 3, announcements. Under the announcements, more information sent to you. Under number 4, we have the syllabus modules that has everything there. And we have the discussion forum. On the left navigation bar, the discussion forum, there are the first 2 that are student bios and frequently asked questions and are not being graded. The next 5, each one is worth 20 points. Make sure you do that. Going back to the home page. Before again, I go over the modules. The syllabus, here's the syllabus the old-fashioned way, everybody. I have the syllabus, Excel calendar, and here's the simple syllabus as they have it nowadays. And it's got all the information you need, including the grading policy, the office hours, and text, and so on. And of course, as I mentioned, the text can be found under the My Open Math. I'm going to go over the modules. So going back to the homepage of Canvas, what do you find under the modules? The very last one, this one is a bunch of information such as formulas, tables, information about the TI calculator. We have 5 modules, and in one of them, as you can see, we have the practice test, we have the PowerPoints, and we have the solution to practice test. We have the practice test. We have the PowerPoints. We have the solution to practice test. They are all under module 1. And we have the recordings of those practice tests with details. So for now, the only one you want to concentrate on is the very first module and nothing else. Over here, as I mentioned, this is where you find these practice tests. Okay, this is where you find your practice test. At the very top, over here, it tells you how to register with My Open Math, which is your digital platform. So you register with My Open Math. The top has the very first assignment, My Open Math. The next one is Algebra Review. Then we have the course description, calendar. Module 0 is nothing but pure resources, including the textbook. And if you don't need it, you don't. Your work starts with module 1, of course, after you do the very first 2 assignments. I hope everything is clear now, and I wish everybody best of luck. Happy studying, everybody. All right, class. Just make sure.